Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affairs of 3rd of July 2021. You can see two best images of the day, but today we will discuss very important and the most important current affair. So watch this video till last. And guys, you can download our application. Application name is Careers Cloud and downloading link is given in the description box. After downloading, you can click on this login section and you can log in with your email ID. And after that, you can click on this crack current affair section to subscribe our current affairs for 1 year as well as for 2 years. Both the subscription prices are very much low, but the most important thing, we are providing 90 to 95% of the current affairs which are covering every type of exam. So this is the genuinity, this is the hard work of Affairs Cloud team. But how we are covering this current affair? We are providing you daily section. In the daily section, you will receive three things: detailed current affair, question and answer format of current affair, and third is the quiz section which you can attempt on our application on daily basis. We are also providing weekly section. Again, you will receive three things: detailed current affair, question and answer format of current affair, and quiz section which you can attempt on our application on weekly basis. Most important thing is the monthly section. We are providing 4 type of PDFs. One is detailed current affair, question and answer format of current affairs, and best 100 current affairs that will be provided in the form of question and answer. Pocket PDF, it means 2-liner or the 3-liners current affair will be provided to you so that you can revise the current affair in quick format before your exam. We are also providing topic-wise current affair. We are covering 20 most important topics which are very important for every type of exam. If you want to revise all the current affair related to that topic, then you can pick these type of PDFs. If you are a banking aspirant, then we are providing 3 type of things. One is detailed current affair and the question and answer format only related to banking and economy. Third is the quiz section which you can attempt on our application on monthly basis. If you want to revise all the past current affairs like from January to June of 2021 just from single PDF, then you can pick this exam PDF. We are providing detailed budget and economic survey. Also, we are providing expected question and answer PDF so that you can recognize that this type of question can come from the budget and economic survey. We are also providing state current affairs. If you are preparing for your state exam, then this will definitely help you, and we are covering every state and union territory. So guys, there is no different subscription. We are providing all these things under one subscription. You have to just download our application Careers Cloud from the description box link, and you can log in with your email ID and you can click on this crack current affair section to subscribe our current affairs for 1 year as well as for 2 years. Both the subscription prices are very much low. If you see the price, you will definitely surprise. And on that minimal price, we are providing 10% extra discount if you use this code ASH10. And if you have any type of query, you can email us on this email ID or you can call us on this number. So let's begin today's session, that is 3rd of July 2021. But I am requesting you all the students that you have to like this video, you have to share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe our channel if you are new on this platform. And guys, this is the only motivation you can give us, and especially you can join our Telegram group from the description box link. And here is the first question in the most important section: who has been named among the 2021 great immigrants honoraries named by the Carnegie Corporation of the network? So two things are most important under this question. You have to remember this keyword 2021 great immigrants honoraries. Second, it is basically named by the Carnegie Corporation of Network. You have to remember this Carnegie Corporation of Network. This is a New York based corporation which was established by Andrew Carnegie in 1911, and the Great Immigrants Initiative by Carnegie or the Andrew Carnegie is basically aims to honor the immigrants. And two immigrants that are very popular, basically there are more, but you have to remember the two names only: Geeta Gopinath and Kamlesh Lula. So you have to remember these two names, very important. So answer of this question is both A and B. You can see here Geeta Gopinath and the Kamlesh Lula, and one is the IMF or International Monetary Fund chief economist, and second is the NASA's scientist, and they are among the 34 immigrants honored by the prestigious US foundation which is known as Carnegie Corporation. And you can see here a total of 34 immigrants representing 30 countries of origin have been named in the class of 2021. And out of 34, you have to just remember these two names, Geeta Gopinath and Kamlesh Lula. And guys, you can also remember that this class of 2021 of immigrants mark the 16th class of great immigrants. 16th class of great immigrants. They will be recognized with a full page public. They will recognized with a full page public service announcement in the New York Times on the US Independence Day on 4th of July and through a social media campaign. Each year, the foundation honors naturalized citizens of the United States who have enriched and strengthened the United States society and democracy through their contribution and actions. It aims to increase the public awareness of the immigration's role in the United States of America. But you have to remember these two names. One is the Geeta Gopinath, remember, is an Indian American economist, and she hails from Kannauр, India. She has been holding the position of chief economist of International Monetary Fund since 2019. And next is Kamlesh Lula. You can remember his name. He is also a senior advisor for the University Research and Technology Collaboration at NASA's Johnson Space Center and the former chief scientist for the Earth observation. But you have to just remember he is a NASA scientist, and she is a chief economist under the International Monetary Fund. So this is the most important thing you have to remember. And guys, you can also remember the name here is the Maria Ressa. She recently won 2021 Laureate of UNESCO Award. Laureate of UNESCO Award, or you can say Guillermo World Press Freedom Award. I am writing here so that you can recall Guillermo World Press Freedom Prize. So you can remember the name Maria Ressa. Now we are moving to the next question. Asia's longest, remember this keyword, and world fifth largest high-speed track inaugurated in which city? So this is the most important question because it is the Asia's longest and world fifth largest high-speed track which is inaugurated in India, and it is inaugurated in the city of Indore. Examiner can ask the state. State is Madhya Pradesh. You can see here it is Prakash Javadekar ji who virtually inaugurated this Asia's longest high-speed track in Indore. And please remember, it is inaugurated by Prakash Javadekar ji, who is currently the Union Minister of Heavy Industry and the Public Enterprises, and he inaugurated this virtually. And you can see here, it is Asia's longest and world fifth largest. This is the keyword for you because examiner can confuse you that it is the Asia's second longest and the world fourth largest. Which of the following is true? So you have to remember it is Asia's longest and world fifth largest. NATRAX, it stands for National Automotive Test Track High Speed Track in India, and it is in the Indore area, and it is in Madhya Pradesh. And total length you have to remember, because again examiner will vary this length in the question, so you have to remember it is 11.3 kilometer. And this high speed track will be used for measuring the maximum speed capabilities of the high performance two-wheelers, premium luxury cars, or you can say the heaviest tractor, trailers and other category of the vehicles. It is an oval shaped test track with 4 independent lanes, each measuring 16 meters wide, and it has been developed across 1000 acres, and it is providing ground covers almost 2900 acres. It is designed for the neutral speed of 250 km per hour. That is a huge. It is designed for neutral speed of 250 km per hour and maximum speed up to 375 km per hour. So there is no limit to the maximum speed to the straight patch. So it has multiple test capabilities like measurement of maximum speed, acceleration, constant speed, fuel consumption, emission test through real road driving simulation and other things. But you have to remember, with this HST now, there is no need to send domestic vehicles and the foreign original equipment manufacturers like Volkswagen, Renault, Lamborghini, etc. The track is also open for the vehicles from the overseas for the testing purposes. So in simple word, you can say that this track can be used for the testing purposes. And total length you have to remember, it is the Asia's longest and the world fifth largest, and it is inaugurated in Indore, Madhya Pradesh, and it is inaugurated by Prakash Javadekar. These 4 or 5 things are very important for you. Moving to next question, but you can also remember here the speed. Maximum speed up to is 375 km per hour, and neutral speed is 250 km per hour, but examiner will not ask these type of things. Moving to next question. So all the most important questions are covered. 2 were there, but now we are moving to very important question section. You have to like this video, share this video as maximum as possible, and please subscribe our channel if you're new on this platform. This is the only motivation you can give us. And guys, please join our Telegram group from the description box link. Here is the question. Gross non-performing assets can rise by how much till March 2022? And it is the prediction of Financial Stability Report of RBI, which was released recently by RBI. So the main keyword under this question is the gross NP, or the gross non-performing assets, which can rise by the financial year of, you can say the financial year of 22 or till March 2022, according to the Financial Stability Report. It is the 23rd issue of the biannual Financial Stability Report, which is given by the RBI. And according to RBI, it can be rise till 9.8%. Earlier in March 2021, the total gross NPA was 7.48%. 7.48, you can see the second option. It was till March 2021. But according to RBI, it can rise in the 1 year by 9.8%. And in the worst to worst situation, it can rise up to 11.22%. It means like as per the severe stress scenario, the report stated economic recovery in May and early June 2021. But in the severe scenario, it can rise up to 11.22%. So Reserve Bank of India released this 23rd financial stability report. You have to remember the number of this report. It can be asked in the SBI. So as per the severe stress scenario, the gross NP in March 2022 was estimated to be 11.22%, but in the normal scenario, it can be 9.8%. And guys, remember, if we are talking about the NBFCs or the non-banking financial companies, then the gross non-performing assets of these companies declined marginally to 6.4% in the financial year 21. But you don't have to remember the other figures because there are so many figures under this report. But you can remember about this report that this is a biannual collective assessment of the subcommittees of the Financial Stability and Development Council on Risk to Financial Stability report. The current report was based on the RBI's macro stress test covering the second half of the financial year 21, that is October to March. This is the second half of the financial year of 21. But you have to remember the keywords. I am again telling you the takeaway points. Gross NPA, it can rise up to 9.8% till March 2022. In the severe scenario, it can be 11.22%. And this is the 23rd financial stability report which was given by the RBI. And it is a biannual report. You can also remember this. So this is the takeaway point and you have to remember. Moving to next question. A book titled The Struggle Within, a memoir on the emergency, authored by whom? So by the name, you can guess that this book is describing about the emergency period when Indira Gandhi imposed the emergency in 1975 to 1977. And this book is written by Ashok Chakravarti. Remember the name because he's very famous economist and senior economic advisor to the government of Zimbabwe, based in Harare, Zimbabwe. So this book is published by HarperCollins. But you can remember the name of the book, The Struggle Within. This is the keyword for you, The Struggle Within. And you can see this book is published by HarperCollins, and the book features the struggle during the emergency period when Indira Gandhi imposed this emergency in 1977 to January 1977. One of the independent India's darkest hours, according to the author. And during the emergency period, more than 150,000 people were imprisoned without trial, and while around 11 million forcibly, you can say, sterilized, and many were killed in police firing or the otherwise eliminated. So this is the thought of the author. So you have to just remember this book is basically telling us about the emergency period which was imposed by Indira Gandhi in 1975-1977. So remember this. The name is important, The Struggle Within, and it is written by Ashok Chakravarti. Moving to next question. And who wrote a book titled as Janak Sut Shaurya? So this book is related to mythology, and you can remember the name of the book, Janak Sut Shaurya. And this book is written by Dr. Gauri Shankar. And the most important thing under this question, that this book is inaugurated by, or you can say launched by, Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Shivraj Singh Chauhan. You can see here Shivraj Singh Chauhan, and he launched the book Janak Sut Shaurya, and it is written by Dr. Gauri Shankar. And guys, remember the book discusses about the subject related to the Uttar Ramayana or the North Ramayana in simple and the easy poetic forms. But you have to remember what is the meaning of this Uttar Ramayana. Uttar Ramayana is not a part of the original Valmiki's Ramayana, which is supposedly written in the later date. The part deals with the return of the Lord Ram to Ayodhya, Ashwamedh sacrifice, and his twin sons like Lav and Kush. So this is the story of Uttar Ramayana. So you have to remember it is written by Dr. Gauri Shankar. Moving to next question. 7th edition of Indian Ocean Naval Symposium held at which place? The very important keyword under this question is this Indian Ocean Naval Symposium, IONS. Remember this. IONS was initiated by Indian Navy in the year of 2008. It is to enhance maritime cooperation among the navies of the littoral states in the Indian Ocean region. And the inaugural Indian Ocean Naval Symposium was held in the Indian Navy in 2008. And the chairmanship of IONS has been held by India in the starting year like 2008 to 10. After that, United Arab Emirates for 2010 to 12 and so on. But now it is with the Iran, and it is for the time period of 2018 to 21. It was extended due to pandemic. Earlier the time period was 2018 to 20. And the chairmanship and the location of symposium rotate between the various member states according to the time period. And this time the main area is Great Andaman Island. No, it is wrong. Amandivi Island, it is wrong. Kofifi Island, it is wrong. Answer is La Reunion Island. So you have to remember, Indian Ocean Naval Symposium this year held in La Reunion Island. But you have to remember, where is this island? Indian Ocean Naval Symposium at La Reunion concludes, and it is the 7th Indian Ocean Naval Symposium. You can remember, it is an island in the Indian Ocean east of Madagascar, which is an overseas department of France. Now the question arises, why it is held at that place where is the control of France, that is La Reunion Island. So remember, it was hosted by the French Navy because the 2021 chairmanship of symposium goes to France for the time period of 2 years, like for 2021 to 2023. Remember, earlier the chairmanship lies with Iran, but now it belongs to 2021 to 2023 with France. And this symposium is a series of biennial meeting between the littoral states of the Indian Ocean region. You can also remember this. And it provides a forum to increase maritime security cooperation, discuss regional maritime issues, and promote friendly relationship among the member states. And total member states are 24, and 8 are the observer countries. 8 are the observer countries. And out of 24 members, like Bangladesh is there, India, Maldives, Pakistan, Iran, Oman, France, Kenya, Mauritius, Australia, Indonesia, these countries are basically member. But China is not the member of this symposium. China is basically the observer of this symposium. So you can remember this. This is very important. So I think all the things are clear about the Indian Ocean Naval Symposium. Remember, I am repeating again. It is established by Indian Navy in 2008 to enhance the maritime cooperation among the navies of the littoral state in the Indian Ocean region. And the inaugural symposium seminar was held by the Indian Navy in 2008 because in 2008 its chairmanship lies with India. But now in 2021, Iran chairmanship completed and chairmanship goes to France. That's why it concluded the 7th exercise in La Reunion Island, because it is a coordinated area or the overseas department of the France. So this is hosted by France Navy. So these are the takeaway points of this question. And remember, Indian Ocean Naval Symposium was established in 2008. Total member countries are 24, 8 are observer. China is not member, China is the observer. So I repeated all the things. Moving to next question. Arun Jaitley, National Institute of Financial Management, signed a memorandum of understanding with which organization to build a center of excellence? First of all, the very important keyword here, the name of this financial management institution. Arun Jaitley, National Institution of the Financial Management. And this institution signed a MOU to establish a center of excellence related to artificial intelligence and emerging technologies. And this company name is Microsoft. So you can remember this Arun Jaitley, National Institution of Financial Management, partners with the Microsoft to build an artificial intelligence and the emerging technology center of excellence. This is the keyword for you, and you can remember this thing and you can cover all things about the question here. And it is to incorporate the ideas of artificial intelligence in the finance management across the key associated ministries of the Arun Jaitley National Institution of the Financial Management. In simple word, you can say that it will serve as a central body for the artificial intelligence based research and technological led innovation. So this partnership mainly intends to transform the public finance management, expenditure management in India, and prevent revenue leakages and money laundering by exploring the role of you can say cloud computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and the emerging technologies. So they will organize strategic knowledge sharing workshops, And these type of the workshops are basically set up with the industry expert to analyze the role of cloud data and the artificial intelligence to reform public finance management. So it is a capacity building program, and it will be formed to skill the developer. So the main purpose of this you can say whole news is that to set up a artificial intelligence kind of thing in the financial management system, or you can say the public finance management. And it is Microsoft, and institution name is Arun Jaitley National Institution of Financial Management. Arun Jaitley is no more, but you have to remember this institution was established in 1993 by the Ministry of Finance, Government of India. And where is the headquarter of this organization? Headquarter is in Faridabad in Haryana. And who is the president of this society or this financial management institution? It is Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. So remember, established in 1993, headquarter is most important, that is in Faridabad. And who is currently the president of this institution? That is Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Moving to next question. Don't remember about Microsoft. If you want to remember, then remember headquarter is in United States of America. CEO is Satya Nadella. I think all the students know this. Moving to next question. Which organization signed MOU with Aramex India to support MSME exporters in India? The main keyword of this question is name of this company, Aramex India. So guys, remember, Aramex is basically a multinational logistic, courier and package delivery company based in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. And we are talking about Aramex India, and they tied up with the Federation of Indian Export Organization. So answer of this question is A. So remember, both the organization tied up so that they can fill the gap between the cross-border express shipment, and it is very important for the exporters. You can see here FIEO. FIEO stands for Federation of Indian Export Organization, signs MOU with the Aramex India to support MSME exporters in India. Now what will they do? Aramex will provide preferential pricing and online servicing for the cross-border express shipment to this Federation of Indian Export Organization. In simple word, you can say that the members of this organization, Federation of Indian Export Organization, can use the services of Aramex, and all the things like cottage industry things, artisans things, housewives, youth, MSME clusters, and even you can say all the things can be reached very safely by using the Aramex services. And FIEO members can access the Aramex services. We already covered this point. And Aramex will also provide help desk and paperwork support for the shipping to the first time exporters and the MSMEs. So the sum of this news is basically all the members of this Federation of Indian Export Organization will use the services of Aramex, like creating pickup request, preparing shipment, making online payment through a dedicated Aramex banner. So all these services will be used by these members, and this is very fast service which is provided by Aramex. So this is the whole crux of the news. And Indian e-commerce market is now expanding, and it is expected to grow by $200 billion by 2026. This is the prediction that Indian e-commerce market expected to grow by this amount. And you can remember that Federation of Indian Export Organization, its Director General and CEO is Dr. Ajay Sahai, and President is Sharad Kumar Saraf, and headquarters is in New Delhi. Aramex, I already told you that it is a multinational logistic courier and the package delivery company based in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. So don't remember all these things, just remember the organization name and Aramex India. Moving to next question. Which institute and the Central Coalfield Limited signed memorandum of association for the development of solar power projects? So this question is not so much important. We are covering under the very important section because of the Coal India is there. So Central Coalfield Limited and Central Mine Planning and Design Institute signed a memorandum of association for the development of solar projects. And you can see this, both the institutions signed a memorandum of agreement for the solar power projects, and this memorandum of agreement aims to make Coal India Limited a net zero energy company as mandated by the Ministry of Coal. And CIL, or the Coal India Limited, currently has 8 subsidiaries, and CIL is all set to for the formation of 14 rooftop and ground mounted solar power projects, and its total capacity will be the 3000 megawatt, or you can say the 3 gigawatt, and it will install this type of the capacity by the year of 2024 at an estimated investment of almost 13,500 crore rupees. So total investment will be 13,500 crore rupees, and they will generate 3,000 megawatt of capacity by the year of 2024. Total 14 rooftop and the ground mounted solar power projects will be installed by these two companies. One is the Central Mine Planning and Design Institute, second is the Central Coalfield Limited or Coal India Limited. So you can remember about Central Coalfield Limited. Its headquarters is in Jharkhand. Exact place is Ranchi, and chairman cum managing director is PM Prasad. PM Prasad. It is not Prime Minister Prasad. It is full name PM Prasad. You can remember. And it is a mini Ratna company of established in 1975. Don't remember about Central Mine Planning and Design Institute. It is also based in the Ranchi, Jharkhand, but you don't have to remember this. Just remember for the solar power project in the coal industry. It is Coal India Limited. Moving to next question. Which company launched Saral Pension Plan? So this question is especially for the students who are preparing for the insurance exam. Saral Pension Plan is recently launched by Life Insurance Corporation, and you can see here Life Insurance Corporation launched Saral Pension Plan, and this plan allows policyholders to pay a lump sum amount as the purchasing price of the plan and to receive a fixed amount of money at regular interval as a salary. So it means you have to pay all the lump sum amount in just a single installment, and you can receive the fixed amount after some intervals, like the monthly installments or monthly payment, or the you can say quarterly payment. It up to you. And minimum and maximum age will be the 40 and maximum age will be the 80 years, and minimum annuity, and it is 12,000 per month, or 12,000 per annum, basically not per month, and 6,000 per half yearly, you can say 1,000 rupees per month, you can say 3,000 per quarter use. It is according to your decision that how you want to avail this benefit. Minimum purchase price will be depend on the mode of annuity, that how much amount you want to purchase. Maximum purchase, no limit is there. So you have to just remember, if you are preparing for your insurance exam, that minimum and maximum age will be the 40 and the 80. Minimum annuity will be the 12,000 per month, or 12,000 per annum, not month, 1,000 per month. And minimum purchase price depend upon the mode of annuity, that which plan you are choosing, and maximum purchase limit is the no limit. And this plan also offers a loan facility after 6 months of the commencement of the policy. It means by pledging this policy, you can avail loan also. So this is the good thing by the life insurance company. And remember, life insurance company was established in which year? It was established in 1956. Headquarters is in Mumbai, Maharashtra, and chairman is M.R. Kumar. Now moving to next question. Who released the report on United District Information System for the Education Plus, which is also known as UDISC Plus 2019-20. It is related to education. By default, it is released or launched by our Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank ji. You can see here, Union Education Minister Shri Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank ji released a report which is known as Unified District Information System for the Education Plus 2019-20. And friends, this report is basically for the school education in India, and it is the official statistics system of the Ministry of Education. And there are 4 things which are collected under this report. One is the gross enrollment ratio, second is the pupil teacher ratio, gross enrollment ratio of girls, and gender parity index. So all things are covered under this report. Gross enrollment ratio basically improved by 10% in the secondary level of education between 2012-13 to 2019-20, 2012-13 to 2019-20, and we are talking about the secondary level of education, which is improved by 10%. And what is this gross enrollment ratio? It is the total enrollment in a specific level of education, regardless of age, expressed as a percentage of the population in the official age group corresponding to the level of education. This is the gross enrollment ratio. Next is the pupil teacher ratio. This is the average number of pupils as per teacher at a given level of education based on the head counts of the both pupils and the teachers. And in 2019-20, almost 96.87 lakh teachers were engaged in the school education, which is higher about 2.57 lakh compared to the 2018-19. It means means it is also improved. Next is gross enrollment ratio of girls. It is also improved because the gross enrollment ratio of girls at the higher secondary level stood at 52.4% in 2019-20 compared to 39.4%. So remember, it is increased by so much percentage. Next is gender parity index. Gender parity index at both secondary and the higher levels have improved because gender parity index has increased most at the higher secondary level, which has increased by almost 1%, but it increased somehow. So remember these things because all are improved. And 80% of the schools in India in 2019-20 had functional electricity. It means 20% of the school still don't have any electricity connections. 90% of schools in India had hand wash facility. It means still 10% schools are there in India which don't have any hand wash facility. 84% of the schools had a library, reading room and the reading corners, but still 16% schools are there which don't have any library, reading room and the reading corner. So these type of the facilities we have to provide in the other schools which don't have these type of the facilities. So this is the target of the Ministry of Education. And guys, remember, Union Minister is Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank ji, constituency is Haridwar. Haridwar is in Uttarakhand. And Minister of State is Sanjay Dotre ji. Sanjay Dotre constituency is Akola. But you don't have to remember about the Sanjay Dotre because there is no significance here in this question especially. So Ramesh Pokhriyal you have to remember. Moving to next question. It is from picture. You have to remember Digital India campaign or the program basically completed 6 years. That's why government flagship program. And this is the 6th anniversary. Basically 6 years completed. So it means 6th anniversary. And it is launched on the 1st of July 2015 with a funding of 1,13,000 crore. It is a huge funding which was given to the Digital India. And the program is centered on the 3 key vision areas. One is the digital infrastructure as a core unity to every citizen. Next, governance and services on demand, and digital empowerment of citizens. These are 3 visions under this, you can say, Digital India campaign. And remember, it was launched in 2015. And Bharat Broadband Network Limited or BBNL is the primary custodian of the Digital India project. You can also remember. And DigiLocker, Swamitav scheme, eSanjeevani scheme, apps, you can say the Diksha portal or the digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing platform, eNAM, Arogya Setu application, CoWIN application. These all are the Digital India program initiative which was launched by Indian government. And remember, the main ministry which is associated with Digital India, it is Ministry of Electronics and Information and Technology. And Union Ministry is Ravi Shankar Prasad. And constituency is Patna Sahib. Very serious minister. If you see his face, very serious looking minister, and no happiness, no smiling on the face. So I think this minister have to watch our videos, and especially the last part when I am saying that please be happy. So now we are moving to the next question, and it is again from picture. It is National Crop Insurance Week from 1st July to 7th of July 2021. So you have to just remember the dates, 1st July to 7th of July, because the Kerala state also celebrated Crop Insurance Day on 1st of July. Remember, it is Kerala state. Kerala Crop Insurance Day. It is also known as Kerala Crop Insurance Day, which is celebrated on 1st of July by the State Agriculture Department of the Kerala. But all over India, we celebrated Crop Insurance Week, that is on the 1st to 7th of July 2021. And the main ministry is Ministry of Agriculture by default. Union Ministry is Narendra Singh Tomar, and constituency is Morena, Madhya Pradesh. And even some states Agriculture Department also organizing a 2-week crop insurance campaign from 1st July to 15th of July with an aim to encourage the farmers to enroll the crop insurance coverage. So you can remember this. So moving to next question, but it is just a question as in slide. You have to remember the question as in slide. The State Bank of India has celebrated its Dash Foundation Day. Because if you know that State Bank of India was established on 1st of July 1955, then definitely you know that it is the 66th Foundation Day of State Bank of India. Guys, you have to know the history of State Bank of India, but you have to first remember, first Presidency Bank was established in Calcutta, which was established in 1806. After that, it was renamed to Bank of Bengal. After that, Bank of Bombay was established in 1814. Then Bank of Madras was established after 3 years, like in 1843. Then these 3 presidencies bank were merged in 1921, and it renamed as Imperial Bank of India. But after independence in 1955, by the Act of SBI Act of 1955, it renamed and it become State Bank of India. Our exact date is on the 1st of July 1955. This is the history of State Bank of India, and now we are celebrating 66th Foundation Day of State Bank of India. It is the largest lender and the oldest commercial bank of India. And on the same day in 1955, the government of India basically took control of the Imperial Bank of India, with the Reserve Bank of India taking a 60% stake. 60% stake, renamed it as the State Bank of India. Earlier, the name was Imperial Bank of India. And how Imperial Bank of India formed? By merging these Presidency Bank. And it has allocated 62 crore rupees to the PM Cares Fund on the foundation day to support the fight against COVID-19. Remember, SBI donated 62 crore rupees to PM Cares Fund for fighting against COVID-19. Now moving to next, what is the ranking of Indian men and women hockey teams remain at the FIH rankings? You have to cut this remain word. You have to just remember what is the ranking of Indian men and women hockey teams in FIH or Indian Hockey Federation ranking. And answer of this question is 4th and 10th. It means men's hockey team ranking is on the 4th and women ranking is on the 10th in the hockey teams. And Australia is on the top in the men's team, and Netherlands is on the top in the women team. You can just remember. Moving to next question. So all the very important questions are now covered. We are moving to important question section. You have to like this video, share this video, and subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform. And guys, remember, you can join our Telegram group from the description box link. And here is the question. India is expected to add dash of hydropower projects by 2030 according to International Energy Agency report. All the options are basically important, but answer of this question is 26 gigawatt, which is predicted by International Energy Agency, and India will add this amount like 26,000 megawatt or 26 gigawatt of hydropower energy by the year of 2030. 60 gigawatt we earlier covered by NTPC. This is the target of National Thermal Power Corporation, that they will add this much of renewable energy by the year of 2032. And 175 gigawatt is a target of Indian government, which we have to achieve by the year of 2022, and 450 gigawatt by the year of 2030 by the Indian government. So, but according to International Energy Agency, 226 gigawatt will be added only from the hydropower by the year of 2030. So you have to just remember the data only, otherwise no need to remember anything. Just remember India's world's largest hydroelectric facility is the Three Gorge Dam in China. Three Gorge Dam in China. Remember this. This is the world's largest hydroelectric facility. And International Energy Agency headquarters is in Paris, France. This is important. Now we are moving to the next question. You can also remember at present the installed capacity is 207 hydropower projects running in India, and it generates almost 46 gigawatt. And China will remain the single largest hydropower market through 2030, because the largest hydroelectric facility is in China, like Three Gorge Dam is there, Baihadal project is also there, which is also covered under the news on the Jinsa River. Next is from the picture, Western Ghats record a new to science semi-slug snail, and it is found in Western Ghats. You have to just remember that it is found in Western Ghats, and these are the two new species of snails, which are also known as the semi-slug species of the snail, and this is new to science and especially for the world. And the snail is also known as the snail of Sahyadri, which is compared with the tiger due to its unique carnivorous characters, and was discovered for the first time in Maharashtra's Western Ghat region. So remember, it is known as snail of Sahyadri. Why snail of Sahyadri? Because Western Ghats are also known as Sahyadri in Maharashtra. In Maharashtra, it is known as Sahyadri. That's why it is known as snail of Sahyadri. And it is compared with the tiger due to its unique carnivorous characters, which was discovered for the first time in Maharashtra Western Ghat region. So you can remember. So now we are moving to the one-liner important point. Here is the first point. Government revised MSME guidelines, and they included retail and wholesale under this MSME sector. Earlier, the definition of MSME has only the manufacturing and service enterprises, and it has not mentioned the retail and wholesale trading in the MSME sector. But now they included retail and wholesale trader as a MSME. So you have to remember. And Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises lies with Nitin Jairam Gadkari ji. Constituency is Nagpur, Maharashtra. Next, international migrant labor rises to 169 million. It is a report of International Labour Organization. It means earlier the migrant workforce increased to 169 million in 2019, a rise of 5 million increase in total count of 3% rise compared to the figure of 2017. It means 3% rise if we are comparing with the 2017 figure to 2019. So this is the survey of International Labour Organization, and you know ILO was founded after the World War I in 1919. Its headquarters is in Geneva and its director general is Guy Ryder. Next, RBI extended interest subsidy scheme for the exporters till September 2021. The scheme was basically started in 2015 to provide subsidies to exporters on interest provided on pre and post shipment export credit. But now it is again increased till the time period of September 2021, especially due to the COVID-19. Next, LIC launched Saral Pension Plan. We already covered. 3 new asteroids discovered by Indian teacher student duo in IASC Citizen Science Program. This program is basically launched by NASA, and these 3 asteroids were temporarily named as BBM 2101, 2102 and 2103. These are the temporary names. And you can also remember this IASC. It is International Asteroid Search Campaign, and it promotes common citizens to develop a knowledge of astronomical science by letting them identify new asteroids. But you don't have to remember the name of these 3 new asteroids, even not the name of the Indian teacher and the student, but you have to remember this campaign. It is known as International Asteroid Search Campaign, which promotes common citizens to develop a knowledge of astronomical science by letting them identify new asteroids. And you can also remember there is a new software which is known as Astronomica. This is the name of the software. A special software will be used by participants to further track the potential of asteroids. So this is the software which will be used by the NASA and the other applicants. Next, World Sports Journalist Day 2021 celebrated on 2nd of July. So this is again not so much important, but you have to remember this is the Sports Journalist Day, and it is celebrated on 2nd of July to recognize the efforts and devotion of the sports journalists across the globe. And the day also celebrates the achievements of the sports journalist. And there is one organization which is known as International Sports Press Association, which headquartered in Lausanne, Switzerland. Moving to next, it is the question of the day. What was the question of 2nd of July 2021? Question was very simple. What is the meaning of Islamic banking? Guys, remember Islamic banking also referred as the Islamic finance or Sharia compliant finance, and it refers to finance or the banking activities that adhere to Sharia or the Islamic law. And 2 fundamental principles of the Islamic banking are the sharing of profit and loss. Sharing of profit and loss, it is according to the Shariat law, and the prohibition of the collection and payment of the interest by lenders and the investors. So answer of this question, this first option you can see, banking in which lending is prohibited, no. Lending is there. Banking in Muslim countries, no. Banking consistent with, yes. Answer of this question is C. So remember, the banking consistent with the principles of Sharia known as Islamic banking, and it has 2 fundamental principles. One is the sharing of profit and loss. Second, prohibition of collection and payment of interest by lenders and the investors. Moving to the question of the day. Now, very simple question. Who was the chairman of the committee on medium-term path on the financial inclusion? The main keyword here is the medium-term path on the financial inclusion. There are so many committees related to financial inclusion, but we are specifying that medium-term path. So you have to answer me only in the comment box. I am waiting your answer. You have to provide us likes. You have to subscribe our channel. You have to share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to press this bell button and join our Telegram group so that you can receive the notification. But guys, please like this video and please subscribe this channel. This is the only motivation. And guys, please don't take life so much serious. I am again requesting you, always be happy. Happiness is the key of success, because if you are happy, then you can achieve more things. And if you are happy, then you can crack your exam very easily. Thank you guys so much for your patience and for watching this video. Take care.